We are now currently joined by the Member of Parliament for Tauranga, not far from Murupara, really, I suppose, Sam Uffindell, and he joins us now to talk about his private members' bill. Sam, welcome to the show. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Michael. How are you?
I'm well. Listen, Sam, you're introducing a private members' bill that has the aim and aegis of basically saying that all votes are equal and everybody has equal political rights. Well, I would have thought that was always the case, but obviously not. Can you explain, please?
Yes, certainly. So what this bill intends to do is amend the Bill of Rights Act in a specific section in there to make sure that every New Zealand citizen who's over 18 has the right to vote in genuine periodic elections by equal suffrage to the House of Representatives, and it's extending that to members of local authorities. So it's ensuring a one-person, one-vote democracy, which we already have in the House of Reps here in Parliament, but extending that to local authorities as well. And the reason for doing that is that I hear a lot of concerns from people in my community that councils like Tauranga City Council, for example, want to move away from that, and they've done that with unelected appointments at subcommittee level. But more importantly, you may have seen under the previous government, you had the Canterbury Regional Council Act and the Rotorua District Council Bill, which allowed, or were intended to allow, and I think still the case in Canterbury, unelected officials to be elected or appointed to council. That goes against the basic fundamental premise of equal citizenship and a one-person, one-vote democracy. So it's a simple bill, really, Michael, but it's intended to restore that one-person, one-vote democracy.
Well, it'll get rid of Maori wards as well, will it?
No, it doesn't impact the wards. The ward system is still in place. What we have done in that regard, though, is put that the option to have or not have a Māori ward back to local communities, and pretty much all of them, I understand, are going to have that say later this year. Tauranga won't be. We won't be having an election. We've just had, we felt the effects effectively of having appointed people in the form of commissioners running our city for a number of years. We now have democracy back, but we are not having a local democratic election in Tauranga this year.
No, it's not a very good thing. It's just right. You got a 4-year term, haven't you? Listen, what you're really worried about is what is essentially co-governance being introduced by stealth, which is where elected members decide that they are going to appoint usually local mana whenua, as they call them, representatives onto committees, give them speaking and voting rights over things as important as district plans and the like. You're going to stop that kind of activity, is that right?
We're going to ensure it's a one-person, one-vote democracy, and that you don't have people being appointed onto local councils. You have to be elected. Simple concept democracy. Everyone over 18 and over gets a vote, and you get one vote.
Okay,
one vote
so that affects,
election.
I've just explained it though, haven't I? That means that if I was wanting to appoint, say, 2 mana whenua representatives to my economic committee, let's just say, of the Tauranga City Council, that would not be allowed because that equal suffrage has not been applied in that particular case. A special preference has been provided, yeah?
Well, it's more intended at the election of local representatives to sit on that city council or district council or whatever it may be. Whether it would apply then to the subcommittees, I mean, you would hope it would. We recently had a situation in Tauranga where the city council voted to give unelected tangata whenua appointments and full voting rights on council committees. Look,
Yeah.
I can understand why you may want the tangata whenua representatives in there in an advisory capacity, but I don't agree with the full voting rights position. I think that is for elected members. There may be other people that are appointed onto that as well, through specialist areas of expertise or whatever it may be. I take the simplistic approach to it. It's a democracy. Every person gets one vote, and to be a member of a council or a member of parliament, you have to be voted in. You should not be appointed.
The criticism that's come, as you would expect, I think Radio New Zealand have worked you over in a big way, as they usually do on anything that comes from a conservative background. They say they interviewed a series of Maori leaders in your particular area, the Ngaitarangi Chief Executive Paoa Stanley, and also Materia Duncan, who chairs a Tauranga Moana group, who say that basically you're not honouring the Te Tiriti o Waitangi. What's your answer to that?
We're honouring a one-person, one-vote democracy. Look, that's what we're intending to do through this. And I saw the headline come up in the Bay of Plenty Times the other day, and it said, equal voting rights challenged. And I thought to myself, I mean, how can you challenge equal voting rights? And if you don't agree with equal voting rights, then I think we've got some bigger challenges on our hands. But I'll stick pretty firm to equal voting rights. It's, equal citizenship is one of the National Party values. And, I've made my position clear on where I stand on that. And they are, as any member of society, is able to oppose or be in favour of what a politician says. So that's fine, that they're perfectly entitled to have their point of view.
You've introduced this as a private member's bill. Do you have the support of the National Party to do so?
Every member's bill that a National Party MP puts in the biscuit tin, as it's called, needs to have the support of caucus. So this was originally a member's bill that was in there in the name of Joseph Mooney. We've moved it over to my name. It's gone through the caucus process and therefore has the backing of the National Party.
Right. And so are you confident also of the support of ACT and New Zealand First as well? Have you discussed that with them?
No, I haven't discussed that with them. We've got to get it drawn from the tin first, and if there's quite a few in there, Michael. So my odds aren't good, but I'd love to think that I could strike it lucky and have it drawn one day. And if and when that happens, then I will be rustling around the other parties and making sure that I can find those numbers to get it over the line. But we'll wait to see how I go at the next ballot.
I guess the simple question I'd also ask is, if it's such a good idea and the National Caucus support it, why don't they simply amend the legislation now themselves as part of an omnibus or even part of a special piece of legislation?